So give me your sense of preaching today. What do you think is going on in particularly African American preaching today?
Well, I think there's a crisis in the African American pulpit. I think there's a crisis in understanding. That's why I love what you do so well. I think a lot of the external analysis of the black church and black preaching, normally uninformed, but the external, that heard the poetry and the rhyme and the antics, a lot of that was concluded. A lot of that analysis concluded that black preaching is only entertainment and that black preaching has no substance, that black preaching is almost anti-intellectual. And that came from all sectors of the church. I think that has crept into a lot of black pulpits. A lot of black pulpits have concluded that the legacy of African American proclamation is shallow and is irrelevant and frankly not good for business. And so academic training has not only become optional, but academic training has been the victim of thoughtless attack to the point where the seminary's nickname is the cemetery, right? So there's been a lack of understanding, lack of appreciation. I think there's been a lack of appreciation for the quote unquote unlettered black preachers of the past who had hermeneutical genius, had spiritual insights on biblical interpretation and biblical narrative that literally saved our people. Saved our people. If you go to the Museum of the Bible right now in Washington, D.C., they have an old copy of one of the slave Bibles. It's right there. And to think that people who were enslaved were able to take this ancient text in spite of all of the corruption that was attached to it and use it as a tool of liberation. I mean, that is a miracle. It's the miracle of Christian history, in my view. I think the existence of the black church is the most unique schism. You know, I asked ChatGPT a few weeks ago to give me a list of the major schisms in Christianity. And of course, you know, they went to the Greek Orthodox versus the Roman Catholic. They went to German with Luther. They never mentioned Richard Allen in the black church. Never. Yeah. Even though the black church is the only schism that occurred within Christianity in 2,000 years that was based on justice. It wasn't based on doctrine, really. Richard Allen and Absalom Jones sang from the same hymn books, read the same scriptures, prayed from the same prayer book. But it was the only one. We weren't arguing over whether Jesus was, whether Mary was the mother of God or mother of Jesus. We weren't arguing over icons. We weren't arguing over, you know, some creed. It was justice. And I think the black pulpit today, because of its disdain in many instances of education, we just don't know. I heard a woman recently, you know, very proudly and boldly say, there is no black church. There's no such thing as a black church. We're all, you know, Jesus. Well, there is a black church. And it's not black because we are black, and it's not black because it's for black people. It's black because something happened in the 18th century inside Christianity that was as meaningful and significant as what happened in the 16th century in Germany. So I think preaching has been a casualty in many ways of that ignorance, and it has manifested itself in people proudly boasting that they don't believe in preaching, they only believe in teaching, as if they're mutually exclusive. And so my fear is that the secular understanding of success has driven a model that has attracted people to something other than preaching. I explained to our people that both are important. Preaching is proclamation. Teaching is explanation. And all proclamation includes explanation. And in most instances, explanation can lead to proclamation. But the two should not be competitors. The two are companions in ministry. So that's why I love what you do. Again, I love what you do. I love the people who are committed to the art, the craft, and the ministry of preaching. Preaching is a ministry. And it's needed. You know, the psalmist asked the question, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Black people in America are in a strange land. No other people went through what we went through and then hung around to matriculate and function as if it never happened. No other people did that. Right. You know, the Bible says in Exodus, the children of Israel were in slavery for 400 years and they left the country. They didn't hang around. They left the country. We stayed right here to build schools and to become artists and to lead institutions and start businesses. It's unprecedented and unparalleled in human history. And preaching has been central to the manner in which we were able to make these various transitions and survive these various vicissitudes. Preaching, more than anything else. Preaching has been foundational, and I'm praying that your legacy, in large measure, will be the proliferation of that understanding and the deepening of appreciation for that reality.